What is stopping you from getting sales with your print-on-demand business? Well, rather than just guess and teach you something about print-on-demand that can help you get more sales, this time I did it a little bit differently. I actually just asked you. I asked all of you what your biggest struggles were, what was holding you back from success with print-on-demand, what was holding you back from design, sales, all of it, specifically with print-on-demand. And you all answered. So in this video, I'm going to go through every single question that was asked to me specifically about print on demand. And after watching this video, I can guarantee you will be a lot further ahead with your business, or at least know what to do with your business. So here it is, burning questions, round 4. Ask me anything. This was the post that I made. And if you want to be able to ask me questions that can be featured in the next video that I do, then click the link down below and join this free, completely free print on demand community where you can send in designs to have them, reviewed, roasted and recreated is what I like to call it. Or you can just ask questions that hopefully will either get answered in the community or get answered on a YouTube video like this. So Tom asks, well, besides the meaning about life, he's asking, there's a really popular YouTuber who recommends not selling t-shirts because it's too crowded. His recommendation is to sell higher margin products. Now, I know exactly who Tom is talking about here. And the truth is, he's asked, what's my take? And the truth is, there isn't one product that will work. I know people selling posters. I know people selling mugs. I know people selling digital files. I know people selling house metal signs. All of them are doing really, really well. Why do I recommend t-shirts? Well, firstly, if you don't want to sell t-shirts, by all means, sell whatever it is you want to sell. The reason I recommend t-shirts is because history has shown it has been, without a doubt, the most popular and the most stable product over a long period of time. So yes, you can do mugs, and yes, you can do posters, but the data all points towards t-shirts. T-shirts get the most sales, t-shirts have the most, are the least risky, and people will always buy t-shirts. But the biggest reason why I recommend t-shirts is because with t-shirts, customers not only buy multiple in one go. Just yesterday, we had a customer buy 6 in one go from us. That was nearly a $200 order. But not only do customers buy a lot in one go, they also come back. Whereas if you think about someone who buys, a bag or a pair of shoes or a poster, there's only so much wall space that someone might have in their house. And once they've filled it up, they're not coming back to buy more posters. So yes, the profit margin might be higher for that metal sign that has your house number. But if you live in your house for the next 15 years, you're only ever going to need that metal sign once. So yes, you made an extra $100 in profit because you sold that metal sign. But if I'm selling t-shirts to that same person who's living in their house for 10 years, I might be able to sell 30 different t-shirts to him over that same space of time and 10x the amount of profit that you made from your one metal sign, if that makes sense. Now, that's not to say that other YouTubers' strategies and methods don't work. They do work. They are good. You just do what you want to do. All right, then. Jane, struggling with designs, using Affinity Designer is taking a long time to learn. Is there an easy, effective way for design creation? So, Jane, now with the help of AI, there's actually a lot of cool ways to do design. However, even with AI, there's still an element of tweaking, which is why we created an Affinity training so that you wouldn't be using Affinity, you wouldn't be struggling to use Affinity. You would know from A to Z exactly how to use Affinity. So for me, my process is to do research, to find potential winning designs, to put them into ChatGPT and have them mix it up a little bit, and then take that design, put it in Affinity Designer, spice it up a little bit more, fix a couple of things that AI just can't seem to get right, and then kind of finalize it, upscale it, all of that, vectorize it if I need to, and put it on my website. That's my process. Now, my process does change from time to time. Sometimes I will do a lot more research. Sometimes I will create the design from scratch. Sometimes I won't use AI. Sometimes I'll use Creative Fabrica, or I'll go to Etsy and download a digital file. It changes, but for the most part, you can just go from a research to mood board to AI to affinity to your website. And sometimes you can even skip affinity and just go straight to your website, or you can go to like Canva or something instead of affinity. Although I do really recommend affinity, and it's one of the reasons why we spent so long creating the affinity training in the Design Hub, which is my paid community. Right. Jamie says, when using AI or any other online source of images print on demand shirts, is it necessary to upscale the image? I download the image and use Inkscape. Okay, so from what I found, upscaling the image is useful. It helps. It makes the print a little bit nicer, and it reduces the risk of a bad print, basically. And I use my designs, pretty much I use my designs to upscale if I'm upscaling. Sometimes in Affinity, I won't need to do that, but most of the time, I will upscale in my designs if I need to. So straight after getting it from AI, I know I just said what my process was, but straight after getting it from AI, I'll usually upload it straight to my designs, upscale it, download it, and mess around with it with Affinity or a tool like that. And then, okay, Chris Parsons. We have been creating a full complement of mockups with each of our completed designs. So each specific Google Drive design folder, we are saving pages. Okay. We are. Is it the correct approach, or are we wasting our time creating these mockups? We are only in the design phase. Honestly, I use the same mockups across my entire website. It's a little bit different if you're selling on like Shopify versus Etsy or something, but we have set mockups for our entire website, and those are the ones we use. And the way we make our mockups is there's many different ways. There's apps and stuff that can speed it up, but honestly, what we found that works for us is we have a Figma file. If no one has used Figma before, it's a free tool, really, really cool. But we use Figma. We have all of our designs on the left. We have our mockups, so we've got 6 to 8 colors depending on the design. Sometimes it's actually less than 6. And when we want to create a mockup, we just drag the design onto the mockup like that, one at a time. It sounds long and cumbersome, but it works for us, and a lot of the time we outsource it anyways, so it's not really a big deal. Alex, hi Shimmy. I'm a newbie at print on demand. I have 66 t-shirt designs. I've set up my Shopify store, and I'm thinking of opening up soon to start attracting organic traffic before getting into paid ads. You've mentioned a few times in your videos that you recommend opening up only for the US market at the beginning. I'm UK based. I'm tempted to open up in the UK and Europe as I thought it could widen my net. Your advice much appreciated. So honestly, the reason why I recommend opening up in the US first is for 2 reasons. 1, the market is much, much bigger, so the chances of getting sales is much higher. And 2, the workload. So when you just start print on demand, it's a lot of work. You know, as much as some people say this is passive income, it's really not. And I don't want to give you too many things to do at once. So the same way I say start with just t-shirts, don't start with t-shirts and hoodies and tank tops and hats. I say just start with t-shirts. That's the same reason I say just start in the US. It's the bigger, better market. So just start there. If you want to sell in the UK as well, it can be quite a process when uploading your designs to, well, the way we would do it specifically with Shopify and Printify is to add our designs multiple times for multiple printing partners, connect them to marketplaces. It sounds complicated. I don't want to get into it, but it's a lot more work basically. And for now, I always recommend just get yourself started. Just get those first few sales. And I know you can use Printify Choice if you wanted to, and that could help a little bit with the international selling, but still, it's not really there yet. T. Hampton, writing listings and descriptions with good SEO is rarely spoken in detail, particularly on merch by Amazon. I'm there because I have to be this person. Can you advise? It's not spoken about because it's irrelevant. It doesn't really do much. And to emphasize that point, I uploaded a bunch of designs to Merch on Demand last week. I thought, why not? What the hell? Even though I don't really like using that platform anymore, I did it anyways. And I started getting sales from day one with those designs. What was my copy? It was a bog standard title. I used the same title across all the designs. It was the bullets were the same across all of them. The branding was the same, like the brand name was the same. The only thing I changed was in the title, depending on what the t-shirt said. So if the t-shirt was like a fishing whatever, I would just say fishing something, and then the last bit of the title with all like my keywords in it, I would just use that. And when I say keywords, I mean like 3 or 4 words to help describe the t-shirt. So it's not spoken about because it really, really doesn't make much of a difference. I wouldn't spend too much time thinking about it. Sarah, I have a question about my store categories, both in Etsy and Shopify. I did quite a bit of research and everyone seems to handle these differently. My niche is cat tees, so my current thoughts are based on types of cat. Each holiday, it's better to have empty categories to show the store is going. Okay, Sarah, or Sarah, honestly, my advice to you would be start with 100 designs. Let's just forget Etsy for a minute. With Shopify, start with 100 designs, put them on your website in one category, and that category can be all t-shirts. Forget about the cat type, forget about the holiday type, forget about subcategories. Just one category with those designs. Don't overcomplicate your website. When we first started, our website had a home page, a shop page, a contact us page, and an about page. Yeah, it was those 4 pages. The shop page had all of our designs. You didn't have to click that, then go into subcategories, then find this and find that. It was just designs. And they were called collections. And that's what I recommend doing. Printify says that products created with AI generate title. Printify says products created with AI generated titles makes 35% more sales. Is this true? I have no idea. What does that even mean? I mean, maybe. What platform is this on? Etsy? Is it on Amazon? Is it on TeePublic? Because it's definitely not Shopify. So maybe it's true. How would they even know that? How would they know if a title's... I don't know if I believe that. Maybe it's true. How long do you think the learning phase lasts? So Slava is talking specifically about Facebook ads. The learning phase is something that when you create a Facebook ad, it goes into learning phase first. And sometimes it will say budget too low, or whatever. Typically, the learning phase is up to 50 actions. So once you connect the pixel and you get 50 sign-ups to email, or 50 sales, or 50 whatever, that's when it can leave the learning phase. That's typically what it is with Facebook. Betty, what are your thoughts about paying Amazon monthly and using that Printify connection? Someone said it got bugged still. Okay, so you're talking about, Betty is talking about not Amazon's Merch on Demand, but Amazon Seller Central, where you connect it to Printify or Printful. That's about $25 to $50 a month. What do I think? Yeah, why not? I mean, you'll get accepted, of course, and it is a little bit buggy, but it's another way for you to put your designs out there. So why not? What I would say is, if it's going to eat into your focus time for your main store, then just focus on your main store and double down. So if you've got like Etsy, Shopify, this Amazon Merch on Demand, and you're spending 25% of your time on each one, I would argue and say spend 100% of your time on one of them and really blow that up. That's what I would recommend. Because it's kind of like it grows exponentially. It's like a snowball effect. It will get bigger and bigger the more you focus on it. But if you just focus on 4 at the same time, you'll keep them all somewhat small versus going all in on one. Do you recommend using a tool like Merch Informer, or am I wasting $12 a month? You're wasting $12 a month. I don't recommend Merch Informer. I sometimes, very rarely, use Pretty Merch these days for research. But honestly, I just go straight to Etsy or Amazon. I look at reviews. I look at BSRs. I look at the design to see if it's a good quality design. Like if it's a good design, I don't care if it's got sales. If it's a good design, it's a good design. I'll look at if it's a bestseller on Etsy, if it's a star seller, those kind of things. I don't really use Merch Informer anymore. In fact, I haven't used it in years at this point. Hello, Shimmy. I watched your full masterclass and challenged myself to follow it. Nice. I've made 28 designs, but I'm struggling to reach 100 due to my time and energy constraints. So I'm wondering, would you recommend trying the full strategy once I reach 50 designs? No, I recommend doing 100. If you can't get to 100, then what's the point? If you don't have the time or the energy to dedicate to the business, then maybe this is not the right business for you. That's the truth. It sounds horrible and mean, and I don't mean it to sound horrible and mean, but it's just the truth, If you have half an hour a day, that's fine. It will just take you a lot longer. If you have an hour a day, great. If you have 4 hours a day, even better. You put in the time that you can. Look, you can launch with 50 designs. The reason why we say 100 is because it's a good amount to run like catalog ads and for Facebook to really cycle through your designs and to give you a good chance of finding a winner. But you can launch with 50. It's not, it's not illegal. You could do whatever you want, really. But just bear in mind, you're saying that time and energy is a big deal. I would try and figure out a schedule, try and figure out a way that you could actually put the time in to get to where you want to get to. And if you come up with 28 designs and you're struggling, firstly, I hope you haven't made those designs up from scratch. And secondly, if you've built out your mood board like I've recommended in the video, and that's got hundreds, if not thousands of designs on it, you shouldn't really struggle to come up with the remaining 100. Hi, Shimi. This question is more about you and your business. Nothing personal, I promise. What I'd be interested in knowing is how many stores do you actively run at the same time, when or if you use VAs? At what point did you find it necessary to need the virtual assistant? I noticed your challenge last year, you started with the Bella Canvas 2001, but then switched back to the Gildan. Are they really about the same? Okay, so let me just start from the bottom. Bella Canvas 3001, we stopped using it because it was too expensive and the quality was not worth the price. The Gildan 64000, we get great reviews. The quality is good. The price is good. And, at this point, we're actually currently, when I'm making this video, we are running a test selling them at $32.99 and they are selling. Our conversion rate has not gone down. Our conversion rate is 2.7% today on our Shopify store, which is really good. And last week it's fluctuated from 7%, which was a crazy day, down to 2.4. So right now at 2.7, it's on the lower end, but it's still converting. So yeah, we sell the Gildan 64000 happily. Do I use VAs? I sometimes use VAs for like really boring, repetitive tasks like uploading, duplicating, deleting, those kind of things. I have run multiple stores on multiple platforms before. At my peak, it was like 4 platforms and like 2 or 3 stores. However, now it's just I've stopped pretty much all of it and I run one store and I put all my effort into it. Like I said a little bit earlier, I was splitting my focus across multiple stores and giving them a little bit of attention each versus I can like double, triple, quadruple down on this one store and turn it into a 7, if not 8-figure brand. And that is what I recommend. Can you share what your return exchange policy is and maybe elaborate on why, pros and cons of different policies? It seems that most pod shops don't allow returns. You're nervous about people abusing the system and it being a big headache. Okay, so our return policy, we have a very, very, very good and lax policy. If there is a problem, we will give you a refund. Most of the time, we give you a refund and we send out a free a free t-shirt. We want to have good customer service. We want it to be the best thing most of the time. And I know you're saying you're nervous, people will abuse it. Most of the time, when we have had a customer with a problem, a complaint or something, and we have dealt with it in the way I've just said, they come back and they buy multiple, not just 1, 3 to 4 on average, and they leave a review. So they don't think, oh wow, this is such a good return policy, I'm going to abuse it. They actually just like us a lot more and feel a little bit more connected to the company. So if someone gets the wrong size, let's say they get the wrong size or they order multiple of different sizes and they want to return, that's fine. You can return them. It's a little bit more complicated for us because we're in the UK, our store's in the US, so we have to just use a middleman to send it to us, and it ends up being quite expensive. So most of the time, we just tell people, instead of return it to us, we really, really appreciate, it's not right for you, but there is someone out there that it could be right for, so please donate it to your nearest charity. And because we have their address, I can say, you can use this website to find charities in your local area, or this charity is in your local area, you can donate it to them, they'll come and pick it up. And that's another way where people look at us and they're like, oh wow, that's really, really nice. You're such a charitable company, you want to donate it. And we do. We like to donate with every sale. We like to give a proceed to charity. But in the back of our mind, doing this is also saving us a little bit of money as well, because for someone to ship it back to us, it's going to cost us quite a bit of money. And then if there's ever a problem, if the shirt's ripped, if the design's not printed properly, if there's ever that kind of issue, we automatically give a refund straight away. We send out a new one for free. Sometimes we'll give a refund and we'll give them the option of buying one. It depends on the customer. And then if there is ever an issue with an item, we will always get that refund back from Printify. Angela, do you think that it's worth paying $30 a month for Everbee, or do you have comparable ways to do keyword and product trend and bestseller research for a fraction of the cost with the exact same result? So the same answer as before. Someone asked about Merge Former. I wouldn't pay for Everbee. I don't pay for Everbee anymore. I used to. The one I pay for is called Allura. That was what it was called. I forgot for a second there because I haven't used it in so long. But the one I would recommend is Allura. I really like it. But I will be honest with you, 95% of the time, I don't use the tool to do research. I get in there and do it myself. I dig in. I spend a good 2 hours really, really understanding the data, researching it. I don't care how many sales something's got. I care, is the design good? Does it meet all the design criteria? Is it something I can work with? Does it have reviews? Does the store have reviews? All these kind of things. I don't really care like, oh, it got 40 sales. Oh, this one got 400 sales. it's nice to know, but people, what they do is they'll just jump to that. They'll be like, oh, we got 500 sales. Great. We're going to go and do this design. They haven't thought anything about it. They haven't understood the design. They haven't understood why it's got 500 sales. They haven't looked at the rest of that store's designs. They haven't looked into it a lot. They've just seen 500 sales. Cool. We're going to go and make something like it. And when you do that, you're kind of in a way staying ignorant to the business and to what actually makes a design work. And I think it's really important to not rely on tools to do this research, but to actually fully understand it yourself. I'm not calling anyone ignorant, by the way, just how I see it, right? Right, anyways. Full disclosure, I'm not actually running a store yet. Google Trends is free. This is just responding to someone. Okay. What's alternative Shopify payments? You've got PayPal. You could try that. That's what I'd recommend. Most of our sales come from PayPal, although we do have Shopify payments as well. Sarah, how many products do you post? How many products do to post both in the store and for each category? How many categories? You asked this question already. There seems to be two main schools of thought: slow and steady, 1 to 2 products per day, or throw everything you have at the wall, posting more than 100 products all at once, and then continuing. Post what you can post, but whatever you do, try and keep up with it. So try and post every day or every couple of days, and if you can post 5 every 3 days, that's great. If you can post 10, that's great. But do something that's manageable. Don't set yourself an unrealistic goal and say, I'm going to post 20 every 2 days and then burn out. And then 2 days later, or maybe a week later, you've posted 40 designs or something, and then you just burnt out. You don't want to post anymore. Pick something that you can find manageable, how much time you have, whatever it is, I don't know, and post and stick to that schedule. Just be consistent. What's your advice using ChatGPT or similar AI systems for SEO? And what would some helpful prompts be for generating mock-up images on DALL-E? I love ChatGPT. It used to be a little bit crap. It's now gotten really good with the new 4.0. And it's amazing. But I'm using it for more designs. I don't use it for SEO. I think SEO is a bit of a waste of time in the grand scheme of things for this business. So I don't really bother with it. Do you suggest having a business profile on social network, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, or running ads on Facebook should be enough? You don't need a business profile. What I would recommend, though, is if you've got a store, let's say a Shopify store with a brand name, create like an Instagram social, create a Facebook page. You'll need a Facebook page and Instagram anyways for Facebook ads. But if you want to create like a TikTok page as well for to future-proof it and to guarantee you can get your name, maybe you want to create a Twitter, that's fine. You can do that. I wouldn't overthink it, though. I often find there's not really more questions. Okay, great. I often find a discrepancy between the cost per clicks of a particular color and design t-shirt in the catalog versus static ads. For instance, when I run Advanced Plus, this is a very technical question. They say designs on royal color get 60% CPC, but when I move that same design on the same color mock-up on a static ads, okay, yeah, it could just be. There isn't really a reason for it. Maybe you need to keep the ad running for a little bit longer. Maybe the mockup isn't actually that good, and the overall in the Advantage Plus catalog ad, it's being brought down. Look at the individual. So when you have an Advantage Plus ad, that's when it's all your designs, and Facebook are cycling through them. Break down the ad by product ID to actually see the cost per click for that specific design, that specific color, or that specific mockup. Well, the mockups will all be the mockups that are on your website, and have a look. Maybe it will be similar to that $1.05, and it could just be a case of wrong time, wrong place in a way. Or it could just be you need to let the ad run a little bit for it to come down in price. What colors of shirts sell best, and what manufacturers' model shirts do you sell the most of? We sell the Gildan 64,000, and I can't remember off the top of my head, I'll be honest with you, because it's quite close, but we sell a lot of black, we sell a lot of navy, and we sell a lot of military green. But that's in our niche. Every niche is different. I know someone in a completely different niche to me that sells a lot of pink, a lot of light blue, a lot more those kind of colors. So it really depends on your niche as well. My font pairing and font recommendations. Angela, I can't remember if you're in the community. I believe you are. Yeah, I think, you're in the Design Hub. So you should have access to the font pairings in the design community already. You should be able to see all the font pairings, all of that kind of stuff. It's really, really cool. Shed rep, business nowadays is becoming annoying. Low sales in every aspect. I'm very, very sorry. But I wouldn't say business is becoming annoying. It's becoming harder. And when things are harder, you need to spend more time learning, testing, implementing. Don't let it get you. Don't let it annoy you. Business is hard. It's not meant to be easy. It's not, Making money is not an easy thing to do, and making a lot of money is not an easy thing to do. You are making a design, right? You're uploading that design and you want someone to buy that design. This isn't an easy thing to do. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it, everyone would be millionaires. And it just, that would never happen, right? So don't get annoyed by how hard it is. If you would have told me, what you were struggling with here, I would have been able to answer, giving you like a good answer, hopefully giving you some strategy moving forward, but I don't know what's difficult. All I will say is all of it is pretty much difficult. Business is difficult. And once you overcome those hardships, once if you can continue to learn, you can continue to test and implement, you will start getting those sales. You will start seeing that success. And what seemed difficult in the past now is easy. However, you will then face new, harder challenges. So let me give you an example. At the beginning, coming up with designs or doing research is going to be really hard. Down the line, that's going to be really easy. You're going to be like, oh, that was easy. I don't even know what I'm complaining about. Now it's coming up with Facebook ad creatives and running emails and going international. That's going to be really hard. But then down the line, that's going to be easy. What was I even thinking about? It's now going to be selling the business. This is hard, bringing in affiliates, all these other things. This is hard. So there's always going to be a stage that you're at where there's going to feel like there is something that's blocking you, something that's harder. And there'll always be a stage where something was easy, but it used to be really hard. So just always remember that. Remember where you came from, where you currently are, and just keep learning to get to that next stage. Keep testing and keep implementing. Either way, I hope this helped. Let me know if you like this format in the comments. And like I said, if you want your questions answered, if you want your designs reviewed, because I've got those videos coming out really soon, click the link down below. Join the free community. Again, free community. Look, I'll be honest with you, I do have paid communities. I've got the Design Hub, which I would recommend anyone joins. Currently at $29 a month. It's probably going to go up because there is just so much insane value in there. I mean, I can show you. But just in the classroom section alone, in the training and resources, you've got so many templates. You got these incredible courses, really, really good courses. And one of the best things is you can get Affinity Designer for the cheapest place on the entire internet. But besides that, join the free community just to kind of ask your questions, potentially get thingied on this video to get featured on a YouTube video. Also, you'll get answer questions in here. If you don't ever want your name to be shared, you can just leave a comment, say, here's my question, but please don't share my name, and I can just blur it out. Again, I don't see the big deal, but whatever. But yeah, definitely check that out. And if you want more of these videos, let me know in the comments down below. I hope that helped. Good luck with your print-on-demand businesses.